Good morning. This morning we begin our walk through the Mass. And we will do this every Sunday now for the next several Sundays, that I'll begin about 10 minutes before each of the Sunday Masses. And the reason for this is each year during OCIA, we have a special session where I go through what we call a teaching Mass. And that is to not just celebrate the Mass, but explain things and the significance and the meaning of the different parts as we go along. The interesting thing is that the first year I tried to cram it into an hour and a half. The second year I was trying to cram it into 2 hours. And that's not enough time. And you can imagine with all that is here and present, all that we do, because the church has given us a celebration and worship where almost every little gesture and word has a deeper meaning and source. And if those coming into the church, we obviously understand need that breaking open of the mysteries. The realization came to me also that it's not just for those who are becoming Catholic, but also for us who maybe heard these things 20 or 30 years ago or longer, or maybe never even heard them. And so my intention and the goal is to have 5 minutes. And that's why, if you notice, I have the phone. It's not for phone calls. It's to keep the time. And I actually didn't start my time, so my time starts now. But to keep it to that. So it will take several weeks and maybe well beyond Advent as we go through and begin in the beginning, just step by step. So we start off with entering into the church. That is actually the beginning of our worship. That the doors can really mark for us that separation from the world outside to our God and the heavenly throne within. That there is a real invitation to leave behind our worries, your cares, your concern, to leave behind the ordinary and mundane world. It can also even be a reminder that this is what we were created for. That we are in exile in this life. That God's design and destiny for us is what we experience here at the altar, that heavenly reality. And so in a way, each time we come to Mass, there is a homecoming to enter into those doors. And that narthex space, which for here, it is a very short space, but it is that place that is kind of a buffer zone, leaving behind the earthly, coming into the heavenly, the transition space. And the first thing that you may think of doing as we come to that baptismal water and that making the sign of the cross, that dipping our hands into those waters to remind ourselves of our baptismal promises, of the cleansing that God has given to us, of the freedom from original sin. So remember that promise. Whatever your struggles are, whatever you may be having difficulty with, to not make it just a simple habitual act like you're dropping the keys off on the table as you come in the door. But God's promise to help you in these struggles. That there's even kind of a reflection and reenactment of recollection of the waters of the Red Sea as the Israelites passed through, leaving that world of slavery in Egypt on their way to the Promised Land. That coming through this entrance, we also know as the Israelites came through the Red Sea, that didn't mean they were in the Promised Land. There was still a journey to go. There was still work to go. There was still coming into union with our God. And so too we are in that same position. Our baptism doesn't put us in a state of perfection. It puts us on the road. And it creates a real solid wall and a block from that life of chains of bondage, of being bound to sin. Now our God reminds us, you are free to come to me. You are free to come to the altar. And then to enter into the sanctuary space. That what a beautiful word, what a beautiful sense. Again, having sanctuary from all things outside, but a place that is holy, that this entire area here, our focus is on the altar. Our God saying, come to me, all you who are burdened and carry heaviness. And so we genuflect as we enter into the pew before the tabernacle, before our Lord Jesus Christ. Again, calling to mind that his presence is here. It's not just a gathering place of similar thoughts, but that now, having entered and coming into the presence of the Son of God, then we become ready to begin our preparation and celebration of worship.